What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 13:19 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe. So this could be one of the most important news stories that I report to you guys. So, a U.S. official today confirmed that Ukraine has used ATACMS missiles inside of Russia for the first time. And this happened last night. I reported on that in my update late last night. So, Ukraine hit some kind of a weapons depot or ammunition depot 75 miles inside of Russia in the town of Karachev in Bryansk. And the Russian Ministry of Defense is now claiming that Ukraine launched 6 ATACMS missiles at an object in Bryansk overnight. And we now have the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov saying that the war is not against Ukraine anymore, but the war is between Russia and NATO. Wow. That is absolutely huge news. And the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Ukraine could not have fired long-range ATACMS missiles at its territory without the U.S.'s help. And what you're looking at here is a picture of this ATACMS strike in Karachev. You can see this big mushroom cloud. And as a result of this ATACMS strike, Putin moved to approve the updates to the Russian nuclear war doctrine, allowing Russia to basically nuke Ukraine. Here's the official update to the Russian nuclear war doctrine and Putin's signature. This is extremely concerning, guys. So essentially, this update states that any nuclear power that helps a non-nuclear power to strike Russia, Russia can now strike the non-nuclear power because it's being helped by the nuclear power. Okay, so Russia is preparing to nuke Ukraine, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the most important videos I've ever done, if not the most important video. Okay, make sure you're getting prepared. We could have a nuclear Thanksgiving. And Russia has been mass producing these fallout shelters made from shipping containers. I reported on this last night. They're called Cub M. And you can see they look just like a shipping container, but they have this blast door. This was posted by Sputnik News late last night. Now RT has posted more on this story, and they're showing more pictures here. You can see that these fallout shelters are made right from containers, shipping containers, and they can be moved around by flatbed trucks. And then what they do is they place them somewhere and they stack these concrete bricks around them to protect from radiation. So they have these metal bracings here, and the bracings allow them to slide these thick concrete blocks in between, and they go up against the walls of this container, and that provides not just blast protection but also fallout protection. Okay, and it specifically says here, Russia begins production of mobile nuclear shelters. The shelter is designed to protect citizens from various threats, including light radiation from nuclear explosions and radioactive contamination. And that's what Sputnik said last night. Same thing. Okay, so the writing is on the wall. Whether you choose to believe it or not, that's not my problem. Okay, the truth is Russia is getting ready to nuke Ukraine. Putin has already revised the nuclear doctrine. Okay, the U.S. confirming Ukraine has used American ATACMS missiles inside of Russia, 75 miles away from the Ukrainian border. And yesterday, Sweden started distributing World War III survival manuals on what to do in the event of a war. So get prepared, guys. Okay, all the Nordic countries have already distributed World War III manuals. The Baltic countries and Poland have distributed World War III manuals. Lithuania is coming up with a mass evacuation plan in the event of an invasion. Poland is building the largest military defense line in Europe since World War II, okay? 500 miles long with multiple layers of anti-tank obstacles, minefields, anti-tank trenches, bunkers, fighting positions, weapons depots, okay? As wide as 100 miles in some areas, okay? That's how massive this defense line is going to be in Poland. They're spending $2.5 billion worth on this defense line, okay? So NATO is preparing for war, and yesterday 2 undersea cables were cut in the Baltic Sea, one going from Lithuania to the Gotland Island in Sweden, one going from Finland to Germany. This is extremely serious, okay? Russia is preparing the battlefield by cutting these undersea cables, especially the cable that goes from Gotland Island to Lithuania. We know that the Russians have always wanted to seize control of the Gotland Island, and now they just isolated the Gotland Island from the rest of NATO by cutting that cable that went to Lithuania, okay? So, guys, get prepared. Things are really spiraling out of control very, very quickly, and this afternoon we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert again. We have a nuclear bomber airborne over Kansas. We have a nuclear war command and control plane over Indiana. We also have several aerial refuelers operating in Canadian airspace, and a lot of these aerial refuelers are associated with strategic fighter jet squadrons. The blue call sign, when you see that with aerial refuelers, they usually mean that they're refueling fighter jets of some kind, very high priority missions. Some of these refuelers took off from DC. One of them took off from Spokane, but we have 2 over Alberta near Cold Lake. And then we have 3 in northern Minnesota, Ontario, and Manitoba. Now, why is this concerning? Because Canada is part of NORAD, in case you didn't know. Okay, Canada and the U.S. in a nuclear war are basically one, okay? So if Russia were to nuke Canada, we would consider that as an attack on the U.S., and we would defend Canada, okay? However, in return, Canada allowed us to put long-range radars so we can monitor the Arctic, and also Canada has F-18 interceptors in Alberta, specifically in Cold Lake, okay? They have this special F-18 squadron that is used to intercept Russian missiles, Russian cruise missiles that would be coming over the Arctic, okay? So now suddenly we have 5 aerial refuelers that are associated with fighter jet squadrons on high priority missions flying over Canada. This is not something you see, guys. This is very, very unusual. So it appears to me like Canadian F-18 interceptors may already be airborne today and patrolling our northern airspace in Canada as part of NORAD, keeping an eye on potentially Russian cruise missiles coming over. This is very, very serious, guys. And the National Security Council spokesman here in the U.S. said that the White House is not surprised by Russia's announcement that it would update its nuclear doctrine. Russia had been signaling its intent to update its doctrine for several weeks, and apparently no changes have been observed to Russia's nuclear posture. Yeah, right. And the head of the Iranian Parliament's National Security and Foreign Policy Committee warned that the entire Israel and its facilities are considered legitimate targets, Ibrahim Azizi also threatened a punishment far more severe than the two previous operations against Israel. Okay, so all of Israel is fair game according to Iran. And Iran's defense minister Aziz Nasser Zada met with the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad in Damascus on Sunday and discussed regional defense, security, and enhancing cooperation against terrorism, according to Iranian state-affiliated media. And a report in the Wall Street Journal said that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, were surprised by the quantity, scope, and quality of Russian weapons seized from Hezbollah strongholds in southern Lebanon. About 60 to 70% of all the weapons and means of warfare that the IDF seized in the first days of fighting in southern Lebanon were made in Russia. Wow. So whose side is Putin on? Whose side is Russia on? How can Putin be a Christian, and how can Russia be a Christian nation fighting for Christianity if they are supplying 60 to 70% of all the weapons that Hezbollah is using? How can that be, guys? And apparently banned chemical weapons have been detected in Ukraine. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons has for the first time detected the banned CS gas in samples of projectiles and soil from a war zone in Ukraine. Its presence is prohibited by the Chemical Weapons Convention. Wow. And here we have some reconnaissance activity in Finland along the border with Russia. This is a Swedish reconnaissance plane. We also had more reconnaissance in Poland for the second night in a row. We had Jake 17 and RC 135 rivet joint, that's a reconnaissance plane, fly around Kaliningrad and patrol northern and eastern Poland. We also had a Polish AWACS plane patrolling eastern Poland. We also had this German Air Force plane patrolling the Baltic Sea, could be a sub-hunter of some kind, flew all the way up to the Gotland Island and then came back to Germany. And then we had a British sub-hunter and reconnaissance plane patrol the Baltic Sea and northern Poland near the border with Kaliningrad. So something is going on here, guys. For NATO to be patrolling Kaliningrad and the Baltic Sea so much, something is brewing. And if you're not familiar with the inventor Lee Wheelbarger, I'm sure some of you guys are, you should check him out. His channel is KLW World News. He has been banned from YouTube several times, but he still is on YouTube on another channel. But check him out, KLW World News. He's following all of this and monitoring in detail the movements of the Russian military in Belarus and Kaliningrad. And according to him, Russia moved nuclear warheads possibly into Belarus over the weekend. And also, according to him, there's hundreds of trucks, logistical trucks, piled up along the border of Poland in Belarus near the Suwalki Gap. These are unmarked semis, at least 350 of them, piled up along the border, okay? And he had obtained recent satellite imagery to show that. So, guys, get prepared. It looks like we're about to go to war with Russia. It looks like the worst case scenario is about to take place. I've been warning you guys about this for a long time. Since the war in Ukraine started, I told you this was going to happen. And now Ukraine is striking Russia with ATACMS missiles, American missiles, deep inside of Russia. Putin revising the nuclear war doctrine that's going to allow him to nuke Ukraine. Guys, if Putin's going to nuke Ukraine, he's going to do it before Trump takes office. He's not going to do it after, because Trump already warned Putin on their first phone call when Trump got elected. 2 days later, they had a phone call, and Trump threatened or warned Putin not to escalate the situation in Ukraine. He warned him, okay? So Putin's not stupid. He knows Trump is not a pushover. And so the best opportunity for Putin to nuke Ukraine is going to be before January 20th, not after. because we know that Putin did not invade Ukraine while Trump was president. It happened after Trump left. And Trump later said in an interview, multiple interviews, that he threatened to nuke Moscow. He told Putin, don't go into Ukraine, because if you go into Ukraine, we're going to do something nasty to Moscow. He literally said that in his own words, okay? I'm not making this up. It's not fake news. If you don't believe it, you can watch it for yourself, okay? So I'm pretty sure Trump probably said something similar to Putin when they had that phone call right after Trump got elected. So Putin's not an idiot. If he's going to nuke Ukraine, he's going to do it soon. We have to pray, guys. Pray for not just Ukraine, but also for all of the world, because this could escalate into a nuclear war. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on with another update. If not, I'm going to be in and out of the 24/7 stream throughout the rest of the day. Also at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, I'm going to be live on the Daily Excellence channel. We're going to be talking about this and a lot of other stuff. So I'll be on Daily Excellence at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then I'll be on my channel later on tonight. So follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates over there. If you follow me over there, you'll never miss an update. Sometimes YouTube doesn't send out notifications. I post all my updates over there. The links to my Telegram and Twitter are in the description below this video. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewith.NYPrepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. But they have 3 months of freeze-dried food with a 25-year shelf life, packed into rugged, watertight buckets that you can easily store in a small room for just $700 with free shipping included. And they ship very fast. Also, they're including some freebies. They're going to include a survival Bible, a 424-page survival book, an ultimate preparedness checklist, a natural disaster field guide. They also have a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food gets destroyed in a natural disaster, they will replace it for you with no cost. And also they have a 30-day return policy, no questions asked. So check out My Patriot Supply. Use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get 25% off of their 3-month emergency food supply, free shipping included, and the link is in the description below this video.